if he blow dries his hair at all for these? What do you think?
Hey, we asked him in the last interview, but he was in a fantastic mood, Danny, as you remember. He was really in a talkative, he was in kind of a chill frame of mind. He played great against Gukesh, so he really expanded upon his shampoo routine, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just
the routine these guys know well is now underway. We are into the games here in our next quarterfinal matchups of the 2022 Speed Chess Championship. Thanks for being with us, everybody. And the day is underway. Magnus Carlsen, a classical Nimzo, Danya.
Let's go. Carlsen, Caruana. I can't believe we're watching this. Magnus has the white pieces here. And this 94 variation, which has been around since the medieval times of Garry Kasparov in the 90s.
It's an interesting approach. The white queen is often okay on c2. You're going to develop naturally with e3 and bishop d3. The pawn already guards b4. But Fabi playing quickly here, so he's clearly got some sort of prep he's about to show. Given how quickly he committed to this line. Hey, Magnus, I wasn't surprised by your classical Nimzo.
Yeah, and taking the first think of the game, developing the knight to c6, which should also be pointed out. In this line, you often try to push c5, but recently, players have actually been pushing on the king side. g7, g5, and then h7, h5 is actually not out of the question, even if you've castled kingside, because that bishop experiences a lot of problems, and if white has to play h3 in response to that, Danny, then after knight takes g3, white's entire kingside structure is ruined and the e-pawn is weak. So I think Fabi is thinking between bishop f5 and a tame move like rook e8, which he's just played, but that's not such a tame move after all. He's setting up knight takes d4 threats. Wow,
knight takes d4, if pawn takes, we move this knight, discover check, Bob's your uncle on e1, and drops the rook. Man, I love highlighting as you speak, and I love your point about g5 and h5. It's such an instructive thing to see that normally blocking a c-pawn in a queen's pawn game, which is any real central structure where the queen pawns are the ones that are the furthest, most advanced, everyone, is a queen's pawn game, and normally you want the c-pawn open, but in this case, getting yourself in a spot to focus on the king side, this is some dynamic stuff, and Magnus is already down 20 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, this is an incredibly dynamic position with a ton of options on every move. We see Magnus going for the more pedestrian knight f3. Yeah, white can also castle queenside here. That's not out of the question either, although, of course, the queenside is not exactly the safest place to be, but with black unable to open up the c-file easily, that really builds the case for white going queenside rather than kingside. And now where is Fabi going to deploy his bishop? F5 or g4? Or is he going to resort back to g7, g5?
There he goes. He's in on, is he going to go g4 or
h5? Come on, Fabi.
If g4, I expect knight e5 will be played to prevent knight takes d4 tactics, but note everybody, if the knight went anywhere else, you might be right back there. So instead, he plays h5. This is, I'm going to be honest, okay, this is early, it's game one. But if I'm honest about how I would have been in Bobby's corner, massaging his shoulders, chess boxing style, I would say, look, bro, you've got to go after.
knight h2 is such a 7-head move, and things kind of getting crazy in the endgame. It still looks dangerous for white. With that knight sitting on g3, Danny, there are some mating ideas for black, but Magnus has left himself plenty of time to navigate the complexity here. I think he's going to take this game. He could play e4 here. He could give a check on e5. I'm going to let him do the calculation, but back to your point, knight h2 and f3, what a concept.
But it only really works because the c6 pawn is hanging at the end, and we saw Fabi's reaction in real time. What a combo. Magnus Carlsen, not the worst chess player I've ever seen.
Only the second worst.
Only the second worst. All right, rook d8 play. Fabi's not going to give this one up, and the time scramble will be commencing. It shall commence.
It joust, but it's only a one-sided time scroll, and I think Magnus could send his f1 up as well. f4, d3, f5, d2. I mean, it's still a 3-result game. But white's pawns should decide with accurate play. Finally, Magnus sits up.
Yeah, but he's going to get under... Oh, not yet.
Uh-oh.
Plays f4, oh my gosh. Here we go. Get your running shoes on. The pawns are pushing. Who gets there faster? Rook c1's coming, man. This is...
f6 check, king d6, and white loses the e6 pawn. I think Magnus might have overlooked that. Crazy, Danny.
By the way, he woke up. Thank you, Velvet Canyon, for waking up.
My gosh.
Give us your comments. We love feature chat. King d6. Rook c1. He has to play knight e3. Okay, he finds it.
Knight e2 check, and then the king escapes the pin, so that's not possible. Fabi brings his king up.
Oh, rook d7.
Oh, that's a knife. That's a knife right there. Take d2.
He's going to pick up the pawns, and it's falling apart for Fabi.
Totally winning now,
but only 4
still
seconds for Magnus. This is blunderable, man. This is blunderable.
100%. Knight takes f5, tries to capture. No, but just take an e7. Yeah, this is over.
Here comes the queen.
Yeah, rook c,
Oh,
rook d.
man. You got problems here. You got problems here.
Unreal.
What a game.